Hello. Hey fellas, welcome back to the tier list rankings tier list thing. In case you're new or need a reminder, I'll slap the stuff I value most in skins on screen now. You can count I'll be taking all those things heavily into account with every skin. As usual, I want to remind that every post-patch 4.6 skin will be ranked after every pre-patch 4.6 skin, as I am currently covering the latter. That's all, let's get right back into it, starting with the fan favorite Americon. The theme is literally just America, and that's it. The voice pack is honestly probably the most important with this skin though than any other. It really sells it as compared to other skins. Like when I think of this skin, I think of the voice pack. I don't even really think of the skin itself.
Today we celebrate our independence!
This is definitely one of the best overtly patriotic skins. I figure that's mostly because this skin doesn't exactly take itself seriously, like at all. It's overt and obnoxious even, and that's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's funny. I like it. It's America, but not like obnoxiously America. But yes, it is obnoxiously America, but it's good because of I don't know. Okay, well, the details are nicely American, you know, eagles and stuff. It's obvious, but that's kind of the point. I like his hat. It looks dumb, but I like it. I like the shoulder pads. Kind of. It used to be, you know, birds, but now it's just a giant fucking eagle. Despite the overtness, it's not obnoxious, it's just funny. The gun is very similar to the original, oddly higher quality and more detailed, plus the eagle making gains is funny. The overall quality is okay. I don't really know how to say this, but like as a funny skin, it is really, really good. But as a skin itself, pretend America didn't exist. This skin would be awful. The colors are crazy. A lot of the hugest details, like the eagle on the gun, the eagle on the shoulders, the hat looks stupid if taken out of context. It's overblown in that area, which does play to its strength, but at the same time it does play to a weakness. I can't put this higher than B. Maybe I'll get flagged for that, who knows. I think this is an S tier humor skin, but a B tier overall skin. Overlord.
I missed you. Did you miss me?
No. They ask you how you are, you just have to.
The theme is train. It's weirdly very detailed for a not particularly inspired concept. The jewels and exhaust are actually really cool, and the quality is quite good. It really does look like Con, but just train. Feet train, gun train, shoulder train, con train. Yeah, it almost seems a tad too much like Con. Pretty overwhelming to look at, but that's just because they put so many stupid details in. Bulky, not sleek. It's supposed to be bulky. Trains are bulky. What do you expect? A tier. Mixer or Mixer Con or whatever. I mean, what can you say? The theme is uninteresting. Try making a skin out of an icon. It is a partial recolor of the original. I can't really say it's any more than that. The blue effects are kind of nice. Overall, very forgettable, but doesn't look terrible either. Mostly just because it's so close to his original skin. It's mostly uninspired. There's really not much more to say than that. It's a recolor, so it kind of goes into the place where all other recolors go. C tier. Safe Cracker. It's a safe cracker. Robot Western Boy is a cool concept. Pretty unique, all things considered. It's executed basically as well as you would expect. Pretty slick. It lacks a lot of just texture in general. Makes the colors, despite being, you know, pretty decent colors for the theme, they don't really have any textures to make them any better. The gun looks like a revolver pistol kind of, which is, I mean, that's what Con's supposed to be, so. And considering, again, the theme, pretty good, pretty cool. There's no details that really stand out. It just overall looks pretty decent. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a robot cowboy. Like, I don't really know what else to say about it. B tier. Saboteur. I don't know, it looks the same. Jacket's white. I don't know, I guess lower. Draconic Enforcer. Especially in the armor, there's kind of a lot of bits in this skin that kind of makes the visual noise singles go off in my head. Can't really tell what's going on too easily. Especially just like looking at the picture on the wiki, like the gun, his legs, everything kind of blends into itself. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on. But yeah, they turned Con into a dragon. He's got wings for shoulder pads and wings for a cape. That's cool, but also kind of weird. Why does he have so many wings? I think the shoulder pads are really interesting to have wings for, but the cape, I don't know about that one, Chief. He's also got a short little stubby maggot tail. His face, I don't know how they could have executed it well, but it just looks weird. Maybe they meant to do it like that. Maybe it's supposed to look weird. I'm not sure. I'm personally just not a fan. I feel like they could have done better. His gun, though, kind of looks like a toy. There's definitely been better organic looking guns, for sure. The skin is weird. It's really weird overall. The details, though, are really good, and the quality is good. I kind of just see the skin as a really weird quality skin with a lot of good details. They obviously took kind of a risk with changing Con's species, and the result was, say it with me, weird. High C tier. Iron Scale. I don't know, it looks the same. I don't like it as much, I guess. Or do I? Hang on one sec. If you asked me to tell them apart, I wouldn't be able to tell you which was which. Okay, Eternal Guardian. Another Pyre skin. I kind of said those skins were pretty hit or miss. This one's kind of a hit, not gonna lie. He's also got these huge statues on his shoulders that would look out of place with literally any other character besides Con. He's got a couple more on his knees too, jeez. Not a ton of details on the armor itself. The wings are pleasant this time, and the glowy thing, despite kind of being there in every Pyre skin, is very cool. Looks a lot more Pyre priesty than the Koga one. The hood's cool. I like his spooky little eyes poking out there too. The gun is a bit disappointing though. It looks like it's gonna shoot some damn confetti. I don't know exactly how to say it. It totally looks like a toy. One of those pop thingies, you know, when you pull the back and it goes A tier. Dark Guardian. Colors have more gradient, which is nice. The blue is spooky with the eyes and such. The gun looks a lot nicer though. It's still kind of boring, but it is nicer. I like the skin better. It'll rank above. Okay, Kinessa. You said Kinessa, right? Well, I'll say it again anyway. Kinessa. Cutthroat. No gun, because old. I'm always a fan of extra hair selection, and this one's very nice. Masks are always pretty much really cool. This one looks sick. The concept is like, I guess, sci-fi bounty hunter thing. Executed very well in my opinion. This is another one of those skins that's like, even though it's very old and it's missing an entire portion of the skin, in this case the gun, it still just looks way better than it should. I don't know why. It's really Kinessa despite looking quite different. A lot of the original model is reused. Maybe that's why. I don't know. It just has that weird syndrome of just being old and not being a full skin, but still looks really cool. Overall though, very slick to contrast the kind of baggier look to the default. It's kind of a pattern for a lot of the old stuff. I just kind of see this as an alternative. Beater. Nova Strike. Okay, I am curious with this skin. There used to be more headpieces, which made it a lot cooler. The one they use for the recolor of Nova Strike is probably the best, but for this skin, they don't have the multiple heads, or at least I don't think they do. If you had all the multiple heads beforehand, do you still have them now? I don't know. But the mask they use for this one is kind of like the first one that they made before branching off into all the other selections, and this one is probably the worst, unfortunately. Maybe it's just because I used it for so long, I don't know. The quality does seem a bit more chunky than, say, the last Cutthroat skin, but it really doesn't take much away. Once again, quite sleek, a very complete and creative upgrade from her original skin. The scarf is sparkly now. It's got a nice little pattern on it. Cool. Her bag is cooler. The gun kind of looks like a toy, but like a cool toy. Antenna go burr. The skin I feel like was all the rage back in the day. It was a really fun skin, and all the headpieces really helped that. Still cool. Lacks in quality, but makes up for it in both legacy and the small creative choices. Ranking the skin is actually a little bit more complicated because the Star Silver skin is technically a recolor of Nova Strike, but I like the Star Silver skin a lot more. This was the first like recolor and original that we were considering separating and putting in different places. Star Silver has a cooler helmet and cooler color, and cooler really everything. It seems like a whole new skin, which is how much better it looks. The gun doesn't look like a toy anymore. Much better in my opinion. Nova Strike's kind of getting carried by Star Silver, but I'll put this at the top of A, with obviously Star Silver being above Nova Strike. Battle Suit Eagle Eye. That's a mouthful. Honestly, probably the most forgettable of the battle suits. There's a lot of fin things sticking out. I'm not a fan of that. It really takes away from the whole skin. In my opinion, the gun is really cool though. Bit chunky for sure, but I mean, it is a sniper. Snipers are big and bulky. That's what it's supposed to be. Aside from those kind of hit or miss kind of details, the skin is very similar to the other battle suits. It's slick enough. It's detailed enough. Averagely decent with, again, hit or miss details. I will say though, I cannot see any Kinessa like at all, aside from, ooh, sniper. So similar. C tier. Alright, Shore Patrol. Oh boy, another beach skin. By default, beach skins have a lot less going on, and are overdone, and are really lame. Like, flip-flops don't belong when shooting people, what the fuck. The water gun is, again, overdone. Why does a lifeguard have a water gun anyway? There's no reason for a beach person or a lifeguard to have a water gun. I feel like I'm gonna say this a lot because I'm recording this in different increments and I forget what I say, but seriously, why does she have a water gun? I mean, the obvious answer to that is they needed one for the game, but yeesh, I don't know. Okay, aside from all that though, the water gun is one of the cooler water guns, I guess. The clothing has a bit more detail than most beach skins as well. The board on her back instead of like her actual pack is a nice touch, and her hair is pretty cute. It's not bad. Overall, it's not offensive, but again, it's the beach skin. There's really nothing going on. Quality is okay. Details are basically non-existent. I can't see any beach skins being above like B tier. I guess we'll see. This one, however, is C. Beach Bash. Ditto to everything but blue. The yellow one is better though. Valentina. Okay, this one's interesting. I have a lot to note here. For me, like I said in the very beginning, I do value how much a skin reflects the original character, considering, like, this is a Kinessa skin, except it's trying to represent a completely different character that isn't Kinessa. So do I dock points on it for that? And my answer is technically yes. I will forgive a bit because, you know, obviously they're not trying to make it like Kinessa. They're trying to make a completely different character. They're not trying to make a Kinessa skin. But with that being said, I don't know a ton about Genlock, so I can't say which parts are perfectly emulated in this skin when it comes to the actual show. I can guess, which is what I'll unfortunately have to do, but at this point I'm mostly just going to go off of how much I like the character designs as a whole. I will take a little bit off because it's not technically Kinessa again, but like said, I will forgive some because they're not trying to make Kinessa. I think I literally just said all of that, but oh well. As I see it, there was no creative decision behind making this skin. The concept was already made for the show it was from. It's a great skin for quality, but it's hardly a breakthrough concept and more so a Boral copy paste into Paladins. It gets brought down a little bit, I feel. And this will, you know, be the same for all the other Genlock skins and any other kind of crossover skins later that have characters from different series come into the Paladins. So yeah, that is kind of mostly what I have to say about this skin. It's 100% not Kinessa aside from just having a sniper. Out of the 5 genlock characters though, this character design, in my opinion, is the best. I really like the look of this skin, the quality is immaculate, the gun is sick, and I even like the idea that it's not like extendable. It doesn't squish in or squish out. Makes some taunts kind of funny to look at, but I think it's really cool nonetheless. And oddly enough, even though they're different characters, Scarf! They very clearly went all out in their first crossover pass. The techie skin is definitely my favorite looking, alongside like a lot of this space techie looking skins that they've made over time. Her hair and her like face tattoo thingy, I love it all. Her character design is really cool in my opinion. Plus when she does her ult, she just kind of says like nyen. And I think that's funny. S tier. Alright, on to Koga. Prototype. Okay, the first thing I need to bring up is that apparently his guns are officially referred to as his Zap Daddies. My response to that is, this skin is intentionally supposed to make him look like a punk. In my opinion, it honestly works too well. I don't like his face. His hair is obnoxious too. His jacket is ugly as well. Punk ass bitch looking at. Everything else though is cool. Robo leg is baller. His single blade is pretty baller. The gun is also pretty good. Or excuse me, his Zap Daddies, but nothing special, but pretty good. People tend to dislike Koga's face being uncovered in general, so I don't think I'm alone in disliking his face. The details where they're needed are very good, like in his leg and such, but aside from that, there's really not much to note. Quality is okay as well. The theme is pretty cool, and the overall conception is okay. That's probably how I describe the whole skin. It's okay. It has a few really cool portions to it, but a lot of it is also just ugly to my eyes. And of course, if something doesn't look good, it stands out, so yeah. See there. Omega. At the end of the day, it is just another robot skin, and the whole skin is pretty samey throughout. The robot-y muscle is pretty cool and kind of unique. Head's pretty unique as well. Not sure what that big-ass shoulder blade's gonna do, but yeah, it's huge. The green and all the effects are really cool. The claws are cool too. I like kind of what they're going for with all the different skins, giving him different amounts of claws. They've commented on that once or twice, but I think it's cool. The gun is also nice too. It suffers from the bulky SMG looking problem that Koga skins tend to have, but the Koga adaptations to this skin are quite nice and good touches. Overall, the quality and details are very nice on this skin, but at the end of the day, it is samey and it is just another robot skin, which is why I think it's so forgettable. Like when I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn, the skin's pretty nice. But as soon as I stop looking at it, I forget that it even exists. The creativity is kind of lacking and the concept isn't very interesting, but the execution is very good. In my opinion, A tier. Shore Patrol. Oh boy. Well, we've already covered Fernando's, which is essentially the exact same skin, so I don't mind telling you. I'm putting them in the exact same place. I don't really know what to say that I haven't already said. Beach skins are overdone. Water gun for beach skins are overdone. Okay, I can't really think of anything else that's overdone, but yeah. He has shorts, and that is it. It's also got a whistle and a tattoo, okay. The elements of Koga are carried over, but in really, really lame ways. Look at his dumbass smug face. Everything that isn't slightly creative, which isn't much, looks just dumb. And the part that is somewhat creative also looks dumb because they're fucking toys. This skin is so absolutely boring that it's actually not forgettable, and I hate it. D tier. Again, the reason why I don't put it in F is because it's kind of funny, and I could see people using this skin ironically. I suppose, you know, a few things from Koga are brought over. You know, I take it back. He's trash. Apparently there's a recolor to Shore Patrol. I didn't even write anything down for it. It looks exactly the same. Like, I literally don't care. Eternal Retribution. The skin's got the usual pyre attire alongside some cool details. I don't find the pyre's kind of style and clothing too interesting, honestly, so I don't have too much to say about that. Kind of boring, but the weapons are really sick. Best Koga gun so far by far. The claws almost look like feathers. They're kind of sick. Quality's alright. Nothing special. Again, the clothing is alright, but ultimately forgettable. That is, aside from everything shoulder up. That's all cool. I like how the pyre stuff often has like hoods, like they're supposed to be all priests or something like that. I think that's cool. B tier. Dark Retribution. I don't like these names, they're all so edgy. Dark Retribution is green and dark. Cooler, I'd say. The claws look even cooler as well. Okay, Lex is next, starting with longboard. This is literally the definition for the basic boring beach skin for dudes. There's literally nothing special here. No gun, wah. It'd probably be just a damn water gun though, so we're really not missing much. The glasses and face, I guess, looks cooler than the other basic male beach skins. I guess. He has a towel, a waterproof watch, and a shell bracelet. Really stretching the boundaries with this one. This was a skin so astronomically uncreative and dull. They made 2 more skins with the exact same concept. Why? This was the first though, so I don't know, points for being the nicest shit on the shit pile. D tier. Sarada. Same deal. No difference, still asking why. Probably worse because the colors are more samey, but come on, they're both lame, so who the hell cares? Lexosuit. The only real issue with this is the guns are kind of fat and chunky looking, little ugly in my opinion, and a bit plasticky as well. Aside from that, very classic Lex skin, no issues. Quality isn't fantastic, but the details are pleasant. A fitting theme for Lex, carries over quite nicely. You know, he's like space police kind of deal, I guess. Overall pretty slick and fun to look at. Almost kind of looks like a wetsuit, kind of. I mean, skin tight stuff even on dudes can look quite nice as well, or at least very satisfying. The helmet is quite cool too. Again, kind of looks like a Bionicle, but a good Bionicle, you know what I mean? B tier. Renegade. One red, one blue. Red versus blue. The tale as old as time. The red looks cooler, we think, but they're both pretty cool and nice to look at. But yeah, this will probably be ahead. Covert Ops. Pretty nice skin. Nothing about it stands out in any crazy ways, but it's very nice nonetheless. The guns look really satisfying and very, you know, ka-chunk, you know, satisfying to use. They look chunky in like a heavy way, not in an ugly way. The shoulder is fucking huge. Tone it down. The fins are a little out of place. Like, okay, sure, but why? The eyepiece actually stands out. Makes sense for his abilities overall as well. It overall fits his theme. It's a nice skin, but a bit chunky at times. Very average, nice looking skin. B tier. Bounty Hunter. Nice hat, bro, but you can't see shit, Lemma. There's something about the adaptation of the guns that just make me so happy. He's got a knife. Yet another character or skin with a knife that isn't used. The details along with the theme are real nice, like the spurs, attire, facial hair, you know the shit. It's really, really good quality though. The pants specifically stand out as though they put a lot of time into it. The fancy little designs on the clothing aren't repetitive or jarring, all pleasant. The bandana thing is nice. Oddly a good change of pace from all the browns and stuff. It doesn't look slick, but it looks, I don't know, it's cool. Maybe it is slick, I don't know. He's got a weird arrow pointing down fetish. Like, what the fuck? S tier. Headhunter. White and gold theme. Cool. I think the original's colors flow a bit nicer though, so yeah. Yasmin. Again with the Genlock skins. It's another odd skin to rank, since we're not ranking it akin to Lex, and instead to, well, Yasmin. It might just be me, but I swear the shoulders occasionally look too big in-game. Every now and then I just look at it and go, yeah, that was clearly adapted from like a male to female kind of deal, which can often end up being a little bit janky, just a bit. Am I the only one that thinks that? I don't know. Every now and then though, it looks very apparent. As usual with these Genlock skins, quality is terrific. The jacket's cool, the guns are cool. The face is a little odd. I can't put my finger on it. Other than that, it's all good. As usual, these Genlock skins are extremely slick and satisfying to look at. This one has a few more faults than a lot of them, but it's still good. I still like it. The guns are just kind of okay. I don't mind them. A tier. Anyway, that's it for Lex. Okay. Lian. Lian has a lot of good skins. She should be pretty high. Goddess. Well, the theme is on point. She looks exactly like she's meant to look, just not too much creative liberties. Aside from the gun, it's like a column. It doesn't really look great, but it's a cool idea. I'm not a fan of the hair. They could have used the hair to do something cool and expressive, I think, but nah, it's just a crown. It almost looks a little too on point. Like I said, very little creative liberties to make it stand out. I like the swirlies and accessories, even if the general details are a bit lacking. It's older, so quality isn't amazing, but you know, it's okay. I don't know what the front of the belt is supposed to do. Clothing is good and the design is good and the asymmetric stuff is good. It's okay, it just doesn't excel at anything. C tier. High Elf. Once again, the theme is on point, but better this time. She just kind of looks like a techie elf lady. I personally think it would be a bit more interesting if she wore more clothes. That way they could actually try to design more interesting things in that regard. I always feel like the whole fan service of wearing less clothes is a little less interesting, just straight up, but Lizzie doesn't think so. Anyway, she looks nice, very classy, nothing bothersome, very Lian-esque. No crown though, unfortunately. Or like no stand-ins for crowns either. The hair looks really nice, albeit a bit unaccessorized. Again, unlike the original. Pointy ears, let's go. The colors are nice. I really enjoy the details with the clothes as well. Lower quality, again, because old, but what can you do? The gun is simple, but it's one of her best to this day. It's just straight up a better version of the original. Hey tier. Yeah, okay. Galactic Scion. Scion? I never figured out which one it is. Pretty interesting concept, like a sci-fi queen lady based on Star Wars stuff. And of course, well, Lian. The execution is actually very good. I expect our opinion on this to be a little bit on the edge, because I know people really don't like this skin. Like, people say that this is the worst fan service skin. I remember I seen like a Daddy Mouse video on something like that. I disagree, I think it's quite nice. The clothing isn't particularly detailed, but it's enough to be nice on the eyes at the very least. Again, the quality is low, but it's old, right? It isn't terrible. In my opinion, the hair is really good. It's a nice cross of the inspiration and Lian herself. Colors are also interesting. The gun is one of my favorite parts about it. Has some of my favorite sound effects as well with any of the Lian guns. It's trying to be a lightsaber, obviously, and it's a lot of fun to use. It seems like that was like a focal point in designing the skin, because there's a lot more detail in the weapon itself than the skin. It feels inspired with a lot of creative liberties, even though the quality, like, it doesn't stand out to the test of time for sure, but the concepts were expanded upon in some of my favorite ways in the entire game. It's a good skin, and I feel like the only thing that really holds it back is that it's really just old. It's so old. A tier. Merrymaker. She looks like she's like all dressed up for being out in the cold, but really didn't think it through very hard. Everything is good here. It all looks super sleek and comfy. Perhaps the hair is a little too saturated. I never really noticed until Lizzie brought it up. The big fluffy parts are very nice. I often compare a lot of the fluffiness of certain skins to others, and this one is of the very good quality kind. I like how shiny the intermittent armor is as well. The shoes and leggings are really cool as well. Overall, the placement of clothing is surprisingly satisfying. It's got those nice little green jewels around in general. Very nicely detailed. Not insanely, it doesn't really need to be. And the quality is quite good as well. Lastly, the gun is cute. Fitting, not crazy, but just nice. The scope is a cool touch. One negative thing in the past about this skin is that the weapon was actually quite difficult to use. A lot of people got confused thinking that they should be looking through the scope when pressing their alternate fire. I was definitely one of those people. So they actually made a version without the scope. It doesn't change much, but it's cool. I really appreciate that they did it. The only issue I have with this skin is that Lian having a Merrymaker skin, that doesn't match her like at all. Anyway, S tier. Shore Patrol. Well, this is the best beach skin, even though it's not really saying anything. It's still not very creative, but her hair is cute, at least. It looks like a wave. It's the only creative detail in, like, all the beach skins. Another very important thing is that her gun actually looks like it can kill. It's a step up from, you know, water. Tryhard's use this skin. She kind of just has everything good that a beach skin could have, which again isn't saying much, but it does still look good at least. It's not offensive, it's oddly sleek, and it's got another knife that isn't used. Still, at the end of the day, it's a bathing suit, nothing crazy. The shoes are nice though. It's not sandals, which would be just boring. It's got a hat with goggles. Okay. Everything's just a little bit more interesting, all things considered. A beach skin pushed to the limit, per se. Oh, and the quality is pretty good as well. B tier. Dark Monarch. Another take on the demonic look, but mixing with this dark elf idea, which is a really good theme mix-up. There's tons of good detail in this skin, very high quality as well. The hair is really nice. The whole skin looks a ton like Lian, which is a plus in my book. Matching theme with the character, you know. Reminds me a lot of that other demon skin for... who was it again? There's a cool thing going up her stomach. There's cool face thingies, cool crown hair accessories, cool floaty thing behind her. It's got a lot of nice gems reminiscing of OG Lian. Armor and metal pieces are also really cool looking. The gun is also pretty nice. In my opinion, it's a bit too thick. I like the idea of it being very similar to the original though. In general, the gun could be more creative, but is still pretty cool. Gameplay wise, the gun is a bit too bulky to me though. Really might be just me, honestly. The demon theme is pretty generic, all things considered, but I'd say the skin is executed in a very creative way. Plus all the detail and quality goes just above and beyond. S tier. Death Goddess. It's just cooler. Dark Monarch. Red is cool. Orange gems, yay. The skin color is a nice touch that they don't always change for recolors. The whitish clothing almost looks like a web. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but it's cool. This goes above. Eternal Conflict. Fire is always an interesting concept to try to develop into a skin. It also has a pretty inconsistent rate of being good or bad, but this one is executed very well. I gotta mention though, this is hardly a Lian skin. It looks more like a Furia for some reason, like a Furia cosplay. The colors, however, speaking of Furia, are literally all Furia. And her weapon is even a sword. Like, what the f? She looks nothing like Lian, plus I don't know if any royalty theme is even carried over. The leg armor is a tiny bit chunky, like a tiny bit. Everything else is good. Details aplenty, most notably chains, armor, and the dress thing. Cool wing thingies behind her, plus a pulsating gem. The sword is really cool. Again, no reminiscence to Lian, but it's still cool. Her hair is like one of the most differing things from Lian, but it is still cute, I guess. It's nice, I like it. It's unrelated to, like, anything. It makes her look less mature and less queenly. She looks a little bit like a warrior princess. It's kind of cute, not gonna lie. A tier. Dark Conflict. Ooh. I hate these. I hate the style of naming these skins. It's so dumb. Red and green are cool colors together. I think this one's better, but really not by much. I'm still putting the other one as higher though, since I think the colors flow better with that one, even if I just straight up prefer red. Okay, Maeve. Alley Cat. Probably the most effort put into a true recolor, minus the ears, of course. I've said this about a few skins now, but this is kind of just enhanced Maeve, so really not truly creative or anything. It's just kind of pushing forward this general idea for Maeve specifically. Exaggerating the theme of Maeve, I guess. Some nice efforts come with it though, and plenty of little kitty cat details. I like how in the later skins they have actual tails, but with this skin, maybe they couldn't make a tail, I don't know. So I just kind of like painted it on her dress. I don't take anything away from it for that. I think it's actually very funny. It's got ears and a collar. I like her eyes. They're shiny. Other than that, there's not a whole lot. It might as well be just a recolor, but there was clear effort involved to make it less so like a recolor and more like its own skin. Anyway, C tier. Rave. This skin had pretty much everything going for it back in the day. It was the second legendary to ever exist, and it upped the bar for every other skin in general. At the time especially, it had everything you could ask for. The design was brilliant, the concept is solid, not to mention the first of its kind, you know, the remix theme. It's been kind of run into the ground at this point, but yeah, she was the first. The effects are lovely, and the effects during gameplay are certainly ever present. We kind of take it for granted these days, but this was one of the very first skins to completely change the experience of the character, and it did so while keeping her character intact. It's also the first skin in general to have music attached to it. A whole setting had to be made so you could turn it off. It's gotta count for something. The quality was top notch at the time, although due to being power crept by other modern skins to this day, that said, quality is the only thing that really doesn't hold up. It's clear that every orifice was maximized in the making of this skin to make it unique and special, especially since this was back when the legendary status was only given to, well, legendary skins. Skins with the most possible effort put in, and the highest quality and everything at the time. That meaning for legendary skins is kind of left over time, unfortunately. I mean, last video I put a newer legendary in like C. Anyway, in closing, groundbreaking skin, easy SS tier. Although I have to put it on the lower side because the quality does really stand out as not being as good, even though it was the best it could be back in the day, really. Demonette. Maybe it's just me, but the body proportions, as opposed to the face, always have looked a little bit off. Like her face is older than her body. For being older, the quality is really great. There's lots of demon-y details. It's not overwhelming. It's just kind of like the perfect amount, in my opinion. It's pretty Maeve-esque, I would say. It doesn't look perfectly like Maeve, like some of the other demon skins, but it's got that mischievous scapegoat kind of deal that I love. I love the flashy demon wings replacing her normal attire. And she has a nice little tail again. Kind of looks like a lion's tail, which is interesting, because she's a cat, I guess. The elf ears are kind of... her hair is cute. Again, very Maeve-ish. And the horns are lovely. There's cool, like, tattoo thingies to tie in with the clothing. The whole skin, despite being a bit fan service-y, doesn't look over-sexualized or anything. It kind of just looks like a mischievous little demon that would, I don't know, steal your eggs. The knives are cool from the outside, but they are an odd shape and are a little unsatisfying to use. Cool idea, though. S tier. Street style. Well, probably one of the better street style skins anyway. Overall though, still kinda, yeah, dull. Though I do like the hair a lot. If they made it for any other skin, it'd be a great addition in my opinion. Although Lizzie disagrees, she doesn't like the hair. The quality is decent, I suppose, but there really isn't much details to let the quality shine. There's a few accessories, but I don't know. We got earphones, a cute stuffed animal, a belt, but there's just nothing creative. Okay, why does she have a tail? Like her cat ears are fake, so why make a tail apparently real? Unless, oh dear. Plus the tail honestly just looks bad. It just kind of comes out of her shorts really unnaturally. The color is kind of odd too. The shoes are big and dumb looking. Sora syndrome. It's one of my least favorite designs in the entire existence of any design ever. I fucking hate giant fucking shoes. Go to fucking clown school. Her top is cute, but the concept is dull. The knives are cool, but again, a little uninspired. Kind of just tried to make them look cool, I guess, which is fair. The main difficulty I have is just like, I don't ever know what they're trying to do with these skins. Like, is she just going on a night of the tail kind of deal, or is she like a prostitute? I don't know. I hope not, because she's, I don't know, Maeve is not supposed to be that old. I don't know, I'm just rambling at this point, but C tier. Merrymaker. Well, this skin is certainly a lot. There's a decent amount of visual noise going on for sure. Lots of contrasting colors and details that makes for an all-around and confusing experience. Oh, and the ears twitch. That's cute. The ears and tail are very cute and well animated. Looking at it in like little bits and pieces, a lot of it is cute and well made, but as a whole, it's just kind of a mishmash. I've always had a problem with this skin for that reason specifically. Hair kind of looks like just a big blob of bubblegum. I think it's fine, but it does look a bit odd if I look at it for a little more than 2 seconds. It really looks like something Maeve was not meant to wear, like she was forced to dress up for a party, which is kind of interesting since this is the only case where a skin looking more like Maeve is a detriment. Quality is quite high though. A lot of details, but in my opinion a bit too much. Her dress has like 4 layers for goodness sake. The knives are probably my favorite part about the whole skin. Kind of looks like teeth, or like partly sucked on candy cane. B tier. Pirate's treasure. Okay, well, first of all, again, overdone concept. The whole skin doesn't really vary too much from the whole Pirate Maeve aesthetic, so it's really not that creative in that regard. I like her hair a lot. It looks like Maeve's, but blue and more unkempt. Plus the hat thing, of course. Gotta love the eye patch, too. She's got a kind of like an admiral jacket thing there. I don't know how accurate that is, but it's variance. I like it. It's things like that that make this feel more like a creative pirate skin, even though that's kind of a weird oxymoron. The theme overall fits Maeve better as well than a lot of other characters. Like, I was a pirate. I can't see that. Maeve is a pirate. Now you're getting somewhere. Carried over details from the OG Maeve are fun. The designs are pretty cool too. Quality's quite good. Not a ton of details, but plenty. The knives are our biggest problem. It looks like knives for a pirate skin maybe, but just not this pirate skin. It looks really unintimidating. Looks like a toy. Either that or just kind of junky compared to the body. The blades are short and the handle's too long. Looks unbalanced and weird to throw. Bit of a negative send-off, but A tier. 8 Oceans. Okay, this is probably straight up the best recolor in terms of it seems most separate from the original. Somehow they almost changed the whole theme just with color texture changes. Plus, of course, all the ghostly effects. Yeah, it looks awesome. They very oddly went all out with this recolor. It looks great. Way better than the original. Emerald Bandit. I like the big ass ears. Hairstyle's different, pretty cute. The face isn't too creepy or uncanny like other non-furry to furry skins. A lot of people seem to think this one's pretty uncanny, but I just don't agree. I think it looks great. I can't really think of too much to say. The theme is just kind of furry Egyptian Maeve. It works really well for the character. Like a grave digger or like a grave robber. That's what it's called. The execution itself for this kind of strange theme is really good as well. Honestly, not much bad about the skin if you don't mind the furry theme. The weapons with this skin are really nice too. The Egyptian style really did it a favor. She's got no shoes, huh? Again, kind of just looks like Maeve with Egyptian inspiration. It's not a billion things to write home about, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, alongside great execution on the quality, details, and theme. S tier. Temple Raider. Black and red is cool, and black and gold are also cool. Looks kind of like a panther instead of the tiger pattern and colors, so that's kind of cool. I think this one's a little better. Cammy. First off, just like Demonette, her head to body ratio looks a little off. Again, might be just me, but this one seems to be a bigger offender of that, in my opinion. Second off, this is a Genlock skin, so it kind of has the same quote-unquote issue where this isn't a Maeve skin, it's Cammy. So, you know, how do you rank that? Especially when, you know, you're me and you value a skin looking like its original character. With that being said, the clothes are a little baggy like Maeve, she has knives like Maeve, and ears not like Maeve, but like a lot of her skins. She has an accent too, so I guess that's kind of relative to Maeve, I guess. As usual, quality is top notch. No creative impressions since, you know, again, they're literally just designing another character. This goes for all Genlock skins. The weapons are lovely as well. Nothing crazy, but again, adaptation is goal here, not creativity. It doesn't look as sleek as the other Genlocks because of the baggy clothes, plus the weird head to face body proportions. Makes it look like this is the weaker link of the Genlock skins. Still good though, they clearly went out of their way to make all these skins as detailed and at home in Paladins as possible. B tier. Okay, I've accepted the fact that I am cursed with only being able to make videos over 30 minutes in length at this point. I've really been trying to make them shorter. I considered cutting Maeve's section out, but then the video would only be like 21 or 22 minutes long, which in my opinion is too short. I like a solid 25 or so, or at least when I see a video, that's like the most appealing length to me. I also keep getting confused about how long the series is going to be in general, or at least with ranking the pre-4.6 skins, as my notes for each skin have become much longer over time. With Androxus, I only had a few lines of notes for each skin, and now with Maeve, for instance, I have like several lines of entire paragraphs. So I thought maybe due to that it'd be a lot longer, the series would, but even though I did only about 6 characters in this video, like I'm still about halfway there. That's really not bad. And plus, as much as I joke about how long it's taking, I do heavily enjoy making these videos. Like, it's not like many people watch my stuff and I still think it's worth making just because I find it fun. So yeah, if you're still here, I really appreciate you supporting my somewhat creative endeavors, you know, it means a lot. Anyway, as usual, I plan to upload this part while the next part is partially produced. Hopefully I'm not lying this time, so feel free to subscribe if you would like to keep up with the series. No pressure, it's purely for your convenience. Again, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I hope you've enjoyed. Stay tuned, have a lovely day, evening, afternoon, or morning, and I'll see you around.